Let's go to conservative journalist Kaitlyn Bennett, who joins us live. Kaitlyn, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on.
Definitely. All right. So you have more than you have about a 500,000 people following you on X. You're out there with these great videos all the time, and you're standing for truth and we the people. First of all, thank you for what you do, and second, tell us why you do what you do.
Yeah, so it's funny. I actually don't call myself a journalist because I don't think I'm out there like doing anything news breaking or undercover. I'm not really doing anything journalistic, but I am making content that just shows dialogue with people and kind of exposing the left in general at these multiple rallies that they keep having every single week. Um, I love doing it. I love talking to people. I love having dialogue. But I do think citizen journalism is super important and underrated by the left in this country. And so thank you to all the citizen journalists that are out there. I just might not call myself one.
No, I mean, I hear you. So, okay, a conservative content creator, right? I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of people, retweet, if they call it that, repost your work. Again, you have more than 500,000 followers on X. But can you talk to us about the heart of the matter of why you do what you do, though, every day that you're out there?
So, first of all, I do it because I love going and standing up for what I believe in. The quote that I live by is actually from Breitbart, which is, I love standing up for what I believe in, and I love having fun while doing it. So I have fun doing this. It's genuinely a good time to me. But I also love just standing up for people who think like me as well. I've never cared about changing anyone's mind. I've never cared about bringing the left over to our side. I don't care about that. I want the people who already think like me to stand up for themselves and see themselves in me when I'm going out and challenging the left's ideologies, telling them I'm not going to use your pronouns. It's okay to say third world country. That's not a racist term. And we don't care anymore about how you're trying to bully us into accepting your ideology. I love standing up for people like me.
That's awesome. And that's what people resonate with. And I was just talking about conservative media, citizen journalism, conservative content creators, and the need for all of that out there to have a voice in the public square. And also, could you talk to us about the past year? So, over the past 12 months or 11 months and change, some of the things that you've covered, what you've seen out there. I know recently it was something with Thanksgiving and people wanting to change the name of Thanksgiving, and there's so many things. So, can you share some highlights with our viewers?
Yeah, so actually over the past year, just literally starting at the beginning of this calendar year, I actually came back from about a 3-year break that I took from making content so I could be a mom to my 2 children. And so I completely put the content creation on hold to focus on being a mom. And when I felt that I was ready to get back in, that's been exactly since January of this year. And I have just done so many incredible things. I'm so grateful to God for all the blessings and the opportunities I've had. I've just stayed in Florida for all of it, which you wouldn't expect there to be so many crazy people in Florida, but there are. In the cities, there are. So I've gone to No Kings protests. I've been to college campuses. And one of the most viral moments of the entire year is when I've been out in the public square, just in public property, and leftists have called the cops on me, and the cops have taken their side, and they have trespassed me from public property. And I've changed the entire landscape in Florida now. If someone calls the cops on me, which they just did 2 weeks ago for being on the sidewalk filming a video, the cops know in the state to not even try to hassle me because they're not going to win.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? That falls under a constitutional right, freedom of the press as well, not saying on private property, but if you are on public property and you're getting video of something that is private property, you're allowed to do that. And trust me, as after
Yep.
years of working in media, 20 plus now, I learned that as well, as a reporter out there, when where you can go, where you can't go. So great point that you just made there. Also, when it comes to the freedoms that we have in this nation, for you to speak the way you do, for you to put out content like you do, these things would not fly in a number of other countries. So it's a very serious thing, right? And I'm sure you understand that.
Yeah, it's very serious. There was just a woman in the UK who was arrested because a man who assaulted her, she called him a slur for a gay person. In this country, that doesn't happen. And we have to ensure that we, as citizens, are engaging in free speech in the public square the way it's always meant to be done. And we need to make sure everybody knows, law enforcement, lawyers, everyone, they need to know what a traditional public forum is. And that's incredibly important to journalists as well as content creators like me who just focus on dialogue. Traditional public forums in this country have to be protected or else none of that can happen. And we can count on CNN being the only people who give us our news, which we don't want.
No, we don't want that. And we don't want the rest of them either giving us the news, which, as you know, over the years, it's been that way for a lot of people. Isn't it great to see conservative media, to see citizen journalists? I'm going to still call you a journalist, by the way, and
That's okay.
and conservative content creators like yourself out there really uncovering truth, talking about the things that the mainstream media just won't. Doesn't that feel good to do that?
It feels amazing, and it feels amazing to have so many friends who do that as well. One person that comes to mind is Savannah Hernandez. She works with Turning Point. She goes to all of these crazy places that the mainstream media doesn't go to. She's uncovering so much of the migrant crisis in New York City, in Texas, in Chicago, and even in other countries. And she's doing amazing work. I just hope she stays safe because she makes me nervous. She's smaller than me, and she goes out there and right up to these migrants who don't speak English. They're flooding the cities with crime, and she's reporting on it, and she's just documenting it, and it's incredible work.
Yeah, it is incredible work. And a shout out to Savannah, a shout out to Cam Higby,
Yeah.
a shout out to Nick Sordor and Nick Shirley and all of the crew out there that are doing this kind of work. Because again, as I was saying earlier, all part of conservative media as a whole. We're all on the same side. You know what I mean? We're doing this for the freedom of our country, for we the people. And just because there's no mainstream media producer or director telling us what we can or cannot report, isn't that awesome? That is really the freedom that we're experiencing here. So anyway, what advice would you give to anybody else that's out there that says, you know what? I want to try that. I want to go out there. What kind of mindset do you have to be to actually go and do what you do?
I would say number one, if you do this, first, know what you're talking about. Don't go out there just trying to pick fights with people. Don't be inflammatory on purpose. Go for the genuine reason of having dialogue, but don't be afraid to call people out when they're lying. That's the most important thing. You have to challenge people and their ideas when they're lying, but you also have to know what they're lying about, and you have to know things for yourself. So don't go out there, excuse me, and just trying to pick a fight for, clicks and whatever. Go
Yeah.
out there, be genuine, show how smart you are. And then if you get really good at it and people are following you, for the love of God, please hire security. I hope that all of these journalists, even that we just mentioned, I hope that they always have security with them because in this day and age, unfortunately, as Michael Knowles says, the left is shooting up the public square, and we cannot be safe to have dialogue if we aren't protecting ourselves.
Exactly. I mean, a Second Amendment right there, and security always smart to have with you guys out there while you do what you do. I'd like to join you guys sometime out there as well, just because you know what, this is something that you are fighting for your country with what you're doing by winning the information war that's out there. You are one of the, I would go as far to say, a soldier out there for freedom. I mean, really. I mean,
Thank you.
if you win the information war, then it detoxes those that are indoctrinated and brainwashed, the million plus people that voted for Mamdani in New York. Your thoughts about that? 8 million people live in New York City. 1 million plus people voted, won the election over Cuomo, who had about 846,000 votes. What's your thoughts about New York City? Are you going to go back to New York now that Mamdani's going to be mayor, that kind of thing?
Well, ever since my husband and I started a family, we decided that we would actually never take them to New York City long before Mamdani because we saw that criminals were just being let loose. Alvin Bragg is a disaster. If anything were to happen to me or my family there, I could count on not being protected and no one would be held accountable. Interesting. There was an exit poll that was taken after he won, and it showed that New Yorkers, like native-born New Yorkers, did not vote for him. They voted for Cuomo. And to be fair, Cuomo was not a great candidate anyway, so I mean, they really just kind of shot themselves in the foot with that one. But the people who voted for Mamdani, the people who lived here for 5 or less years, that goes to show something. One, with bringing in immigrants, naturalizing people who aren't from here, and then just mass, overflow into New York from all these different places. They're changing New York politics, and they haven't even been there for 5 years. That's crazy to me because obviously New Yorkers who are native born, been there for decades, they didn't want them, but now they have them.
Yeah, and exactly. So what are they going to do now, right? You pray, you work hard. Hopefully, the next mayor election, you vote somebody else in. But some people are just getting out of Dodge. And great point that you're making. Not even stepping foot into the Big Apple there. Also, let's talk about a number of other things that are out there that people are really concerned about. Is the future of our country. What would you say needs to be done in order for our country to continue to be the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, that is a very big question. I wish I had more time to think about it. One, I think we need to reassess not only illegal immigration, we need to reassess legal immigration and naturalization of people who come over here. I have been saying for years that we need to take a break from legal immigration, H-1Bs, student visas. When I was just on campus 2 days ago at USF, University of South Florida in Tampa, I talked to more students who were here on a visa than actual American citizens. And I walked away that day thinking, like, I'm at an American university. How did I end up not? I talked to like 5% of the people I talked to were actually American citizens. 95% were people that they didn't live here. They're not from this country. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. You know what? No, there is something wrong with that. American university, and I can't even talk to Americans. We need to make sure that the people that are coming over are highly vetted, not just, are they safe people? We need to make sure they're going to assimilate. We need to make sure they're going to back our country if we go to war with someone. We need to make sure that they're not going to bring their entire family over and take Dearborn, Michigan, and change the landscape of our country. We need to make sure we're fostering American culture, American values, traditional Christian values in this country. That's where it starts. And I think that's where most of our issues are coming from.
Exactly. And then, you think about the genesis of our nation, all about we the people, all about freedom, all about, let's be honest, I mean, it was a number of Christians that really did what they did back in 1776. Thank God for the freedoms and the Constitution of the United States. But let's shift back to one more thing before I let you go. Thanks again for spending the time with us. We were talking about the public square and freedom of speech. And as long as you're not inciting violence, but you're speaking and debating your thoughts versus somebody else's thoughts. And by the way, we on this side of the aisle believe in truth. And then the other side that are extremists say there's no truth. Everything goes. Everything's cool. You can do what you want. Do as thou wilt. Isn't that almost a satanic thing in this as the religion there? The point is the fact that Charlie Kirk was so bold and debated so well. Would you say that you are a Charlie Kirk out there too?
I love the phrase "I'm Charlie Kirk." If there was a call from Turning Point to pick up a microphone after he was publicly executed for just speaking and having dialogue, and I like to think that actually I know he is the reason I am who I am today. Whether or not our history is kind of murky from 7 years back, he is the reason I am who I am today. And I actually made an entire video on my YouTube channel, just saying thank you to him and a last goodbye message that I never actually got to say to him, which is really disappointing. But I would say I am Charlie Kirk. I am Kaitlyn Bennett because of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, and a lot of people echo that sentiment. Same here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. You were saying that you're married, you have two kids, but you're out there on literally the front lines, and speaking to people and a lot of views. I mean, again, if you're just joining us, this is conservative content creator and journalist Kaitlyn Bennett, who has more than 500,000 followers on X and millions and millions of people have seen her content. So the point is, when you're a mom, right? And you are a mom, and I have my wife, and we have a 1-year-old, and we're expecting for a second baby. So
congratulations!
Thank you. And we're really, to be honest, I wish I would have done this years ago. Having kids is awesome, but the point is, just the personal aspect of it. Being the mama bear that you are. Does your husband ever say, oh man, you're going out there to that protest, you're going out to, and I know you have security, but your thoughts about that, just the career aspect versus the personal aspect, and really doing it for God, family, country, and freedom?
Yeah, so my husband is actually my cameraman, and he's my producer,
There
and
you
he's my
go.
editor. So
There you go.
we have been doing this together for 7 years, and there are multiple times that I have gotten us in a little, sticky situations because I am so stubborn and bold. I've been mobbed on three college campuses, one in Ohio, two in Florida, where the cops had to come and like get me out of there. They were throwing rocks at my head, pouring coffee on me. And I'm like, I'm not leaving this place. They're not going to make me leave. And he's like, for the love of God, can we let's just get out of here? So he kind of reels me in, and he reminds me all the time. He's like, yes, you're fighting for something important. You believe in this stuff, but your one main purpose and priority is your children. So can we please get out of here, get back to our kids safely? But at the end of the day, that is the reason I do what I do. And I'm so thankful that I have this platform from everybody listening that follows me or is going to follow me after this. Thank you. Because of you guys, I'm able to basically be a full-time mom, stay-at-home mom, film once a week. My husband does the rest of the work editing, and I can be present for my children. So it's just such a blessing. Thank
And
you.
that's awesome. And that's being an entrepreneur in a way, an American dream in a way.
Yeah.
You're doing something for the country. And we remember the order: God, family, then country, freedom. They're all very close. But in order to have freedom, we have to do things like this. You have to win the information war. In order to pray how we want to pray, you have to have freedom. You got to keep the Constitution, the law of the land. In order to have safety for your family, you have to vote in people that care about law and order, and not these whats in these other cities that are trying to come against the National Guard and ICE and all of that. See, we're telling it like it is here. And isn't that refreshing, Kaitlyn, that you're able to tell it like it is in front of the world, because X is a global platform?
Yes, and I'm so thankful to Elon Musk for acquiring X. Although it's become a little weird with the monetization and stuff, there's some things I could criticize, but overall, I can say things on X that I wouldn't have been able to before. And because of this cultural shift of just people on the right gathering together and saying, we are so sick of the censorship, we're sick of the cancel culture, we're going to start canceling you guys. We're going to rise up, we're done doing this stuff. We're not saying the pronouns, we're not going to be canceled for our speech anymore. YouTube and Instagram have also shifted to more free speech, and I've noticed I'm allowed to post different things that I usually wouldn't be able to say even just 5 years ago. They've done a lot of work, yes, but I think they're trending in that direction because they know it's just unpopular to suppress speech in America.
Exactly. I would also like to recruit you to, even though I don't work for Truth Social or Rumble, please create a Truth Social account as well. A lot of great patriots on Truth Social, and would love work that you do there. So conservative content creator and journalist Kaitlyn Bennett, thanks so much for joining us here on Right Side Broadcasting Network.
Thank you for giving me the time. I appreciate it. God
Definitely.
bless.
God bless you.